What are the long-term effects of economic aid as containment? Have you ever wondered how economic aid shaped the world during the Cold War? Let's take a closer look at the long-term effects of economic aid as a strategy for containment. This approach was primarily used by the United States to stop the spread of communism by supporting countries that were seen as vulnerable. Initially, economic aid aimed to strengthen capitalist and democratic governments. Programs like the Marshall Plan provided significant financial support to Western European nations recovering from World War II. This assistance helped rebuild their economies and reduce the appeal of communism. By addressing economic hardships, the United States sought to prevent social unrest that could lead to communist uprisings. Over time, this strategy helped solidify capitalist economies and political systems in Western Europe, effectively creating a barrier against communism. However, from a communist perspective, this economic aid was viewed as a form of imperialism. It was not just about humanitarian efforts. It was a strategic move to maintain capitalist dominance and suppress revolutionary movements. Often, this aid came with political conditions that aligned the recipient countries more closely with United States interests. This limited their sovereignty and restricted their ability to pursue socialist policies. As a result, resentment grew among leftist groups and communist parties in those nations. Additionally, economic aid as a containment strategy deepened global divisions. It intensified the ideological struggle between capitalism and communism, creating two hostile blocs. The United States used it to form alliances and military pacts, such as the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, to encircle the Soviet Union and its allies. This approach prolonged the Cold War and led to numerous proxy conflicts, where economic aid and military support were used to influence governments and suppress communist movements in regions like Asia, Latin America, and Africa. In some cases, economic aid did not prevent countries from adopting communist or socialist paths. For example, despite significant efforts, communist movements succeeded in China, Cuba, and parts of Southeast Asia. This indicates that economic aid alone could not fully contain the appeal of communism, especially in areas with deep social inequalities and anti-colonial sentiments. The long-term effects of economic aid as containment include strengthening capitalist economies and governments to block communist expansion. It also imposed political influence and limited the sovereignty of aid-receiving countries, which many viewed as neocolonial control. Furthermore, it heightened global ideological divisions and contributed to ongoing Cold War tensions. In some instances, it failed to prevent communist revolutions, showing the limits of economic aid as a containment strategy. From the communist viewpoint, economic aid as containment was less about genuine development and more about maintaining capitalist hegemony. It prolonged conflict and instability rather than addressing the social and economic issues that communism aimed to resolve.